Hi, in this video we will look at how to create maps in mWater. mWater provides users with free tools to map any data that's collected in the system that they have access to. The maps we have come in layers, and you can add as many layers as you want, and you can have basic maps that show point data, and those points have pop-ups that you can click into to see more information, like so. And you can also create more advanced maps using grid layers, choropleths, and so on. We will look at more advanced maps in another video. In this one, we will just look at the basics. So let's begin. Creating maps is very straightforward in mWater. You only need the data source with some location information that you want to map. Now, this location information needs to be GPS coordinates, and this can come from either infrastructure sites, which have those GPS locations. This means things such as water points, water systems, communities, health facilities, schools, and so on. Or this data can come from location questions within surveys, which ask users and enumerators to enter GPS coordinates whilst filling out those surveys. Now, if your data, your site or your survey has this GPS information, then you can begin to map it. And that means that you can then display any dimension of data you have on the map. So if your survey has 50 questions, one of them is the location question, you can then bring any and all of those questions as some kind of visualization on your map. Let's take a look at how to do this in practice. I'm now on the mWater portal, portal.mwater.co. In the Maps tab, and I'm creating a new map. I can create it in consoles, or I can even create map widgets in dashboards. I'm creating a full page map here. Let's take a look at the main features of our map interface. First of all, we can save the map from the top left by giving it a name. We have a few general commands here at the top. Most importantly, undo and redo if we want to undo something that we do. The duplicate button is very interesting because it allows you to take a copy for yourself of an existing map, even if somebody else has created this map. That can be very useful in learning and dissecting how others have built their maps and applying those principles for yourself. Share allows you to share your finished product with stakeholders. Gallery brings you back to the view of multiple maps, and print allows you to get this map out on a PDF file, either with normal or high resolution if you want to do a big printout. Now, on the left side, we see a few options: layers, filters, and options. And in mWater's maps, you create your maps one layer at a time. At the bottom here, we have more advanced maps we'll cover in another video, but here are the two main ways to create maps, either from site data or survey data. In my example, I want to map some water point data. So I select all water point data first of all. I'm not interested in a given organization's water point data at this point. This then automatically creates the layer and figures out which location data to use. Now, water point sites, by definition, must have a location, but actually I'm interested in a narrower set of data. Let's see how I can get to that. I click Customize for this layer, and I see that the data source is a water point, as expected, and the marker position, meaning how is the position of these dots determined, is determined by the GPS location of that site. If I click into that, I will see a complicated structure of data which maps to the sites, what is available on the site. It is this GPS location of the site that is being mapped. I can adjust the marker color, which just simply changes the color for all of the dots. We'll look at color by data in a moment, but basically that allows you to show different colors on the basis of underlying data and have a more informative map. You can change the symbol of all of the mapped points. You can change the size as well. But now we get to the filter section. You can add as many filters to your map as you want for each layer. It makes it easier to narrow down to a dataset you're interested in. In my case, I'm interested in only water points within Ghana. How do I get to that? Well, I add a filter. I pick location, not name, not description, not type. I pick administrative region. Those are geographical divisions such as country, province, region, district, which are automatically calculated on the basis of the GPS location by mWater. I select it. The administrative region is within. Then I click select ... and type in the region or country I'm interested in this case, Ghana. And we see that the data is now filtered down to only Ghana. And if I wanted to narrow it further, I could keep adding filters. Now, if I click into a single point, I will see the standard mWater site pop-up, which will give things such as the site name, the mWater ID, the map, some basic information, photos, and related surveys, quite a few in this case. I can customize that, but we'll look at that in another video. And you can add some other advanced options such as zoom level. Opacity determines how see-through the layer is, and the hide legend toggle allows me to hide the legend. Now, in this example, what I want to see is the type of the water point. This gives me, in a quick and easy way, the locations of the water points mapped within mWater. If I want more information, I can click into them, but I want to see how are they distributed by type. This is where I can look at the color by data option. I'll click select, and then scanning the structure of the site, I select type, which is the technology that allows users to access water based on JMP definitions. And as soon as I've done that, I get the options, of which there are quite a few, colored in. So I can see that there is quite a lot of unprotected springs mapped here by the looks of things, or other, actually, and quite a few boreholes here and there, quite a few protected dug wells, and so on. If I want to hide individual options, I can do so by unticking these boxes. And if I want to change the color scheme to something different, I can either change the colors individually or choose a pre-made color scheme. And this can be used to create a much more informative map. It's not too messy. So here was a basic way of creating a water point layer. Now I could similarly map any data at all from other types of sites, communities for example, or surveys, as long as those surveys have a location question or a site question. Now, I want to touch on another way of quickly getting water point information mapped. You can do that using the water point mapper in just a couple of clicks, which is a guided way to create maps relating specifically to water points. So let's do that with a new map. I've created a new map, water point mapper demo, I shall call it. And where do I begin? I can start here from the water point mapper wizard. It's on the bottom right. And this gives a number of ready-made templates where you pick one and then you choose a few options in a guided process and get a ready map. So we see some to do with access, some with reliability, including chloropleth maps, some with finance, and some with post-implementation support, technical information, and water quality. So just choose functional water access, and let's be interested in Ghana again. Once I've clicked next, the wizard asks me if there is a specific region I want to map. Again, let's choose Ghana. all organizations and all datasets I'm interested in. And that's all. In just a couple of clicks, we've got a functionality map with access radiuses included. So we can see someone's with no functionality or partial functionality, and we can then quickly see how this could be a useful way to map our water point data as long as the functionality indicator has been filled in. If I wanted to run another layer, I can do that, go through the same process, access to an improved source for Ghana as well. Similarly for all organizations, finish it up there. Now I can choose between the layers by ticking and unticking these boxes. So see, this is now displaying the access to an improved source. Most mapped sites in the south have that, and most in the north have it as unimproved. So interesting analysis opportunities can come. So the water point mapper is a quick and easy way specifically for water point information. And that covers the basics of maps. You can add filters here from the Filters tab that apply to all the water points across these layers. You can add as many as you like. And here from the Options tab, you can choose some basic elements of the map, such as the background opacity, and you can also get it to automatically zoom to show all the water points or all the sites, all the location information in your map. You can also set the maximum zoom level. Now, between all this, you can get started creating maps and look out for the next video on all the advanced map features. Thank you.